Okay, folks, check it out. Look, I'm excited for this, and this is so simple. Everybody got a lot of versions of it, but I took my time to go ahead and measure everything out. And don't forget the full ingredient list is on my website, smokingandgrillingwithab.com, right? So listen, everything is laid out right here. Today, I'm gonna show you guys how to make a delicious, baked chicken. Instead of just doing chicken pieces, we're doing chicken quarters. Let's get it. Okay, so listen, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and preheat our oven, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and hit bake. We're gonna do it at 350 degrees, and then we're gonna hit start. Okay, as you guys can see, listen, these are the ingredients, right? Not for a lack of ingredients, trust me. When I tell you simple works, right? This right here, this is our chicken. This chicken right here, we using quarters, we got our seasonings, then we got our veggies, right? We got 2 onions and 2 bell peppers, red and green. We got salt and pepper, and don't forget the full ingredient list is on my website, smokingandgrillingwithab.com, and that's WITAB.com. Okay, so all your dry ingredients, listen, we're gonna put them all in the inside, right? Dump and go. So as you see, we just dump them in just like this. Okay, now look, this is the chili powder, right? You can use ancho, you know what I mean? Me, I like this flavor. It can be either or, and again, it's on my website, but we only gonna use about a half a teaspoon. Now for my, ground pepper, I like fresh ground, you know what I mean? So I just put this in here till I cover the top of it, right? And now for my salt, right? So what I'm gonna do is give this a couple of pinches. You know what I mean? It's gonna take a little bit of salt. Don't forget, right here, I got 4 chicken quarters. You know what I mean? So we got a little work. Get yourself a fork or a whisk, you know what I mean? And go ahead and go to town and get it all incorporated. Okay, so look, now we're getting ready to do our veggies, right? You guys already have seen I got the onions, you know what I mean? So I'm getting ready to just cut this down like this, right? I ask everybody, if you cut yours like me, I save this. I put this in a Ziploc and put it in my, my vegetable drawer, right? So then I clear, look, I just come in here like this, and I just go ahead and clear this up and make it easy so I can take this and the seed pod straight to the trash can. Okay, so I cut them down like this, man. You don't really have to do them. You do them any way you want to, right? See, when I cut them down like this, I do this out of habit. Right? But I'm just gonna go ahead and make some of these right here as if I was getting ready to dice it. But to be honest with you, you want some bigger pieces like this. You want them long, right? I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Go ahead, but we're not gonna dice though for sure. And you notice I kept them a little long, a little thick, right? So here, now I'll just, and so what I do is I just arrange these like that. So some of you guys have probably already figured out why I'm doing this, because I'm actually going to take the chicken after I season it up. We're gonna put this right here on top, right? This along with the onions, I can put some garlic, cloves in here, however you wanna do it. And to be honest with you, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and cut this down, which I think I am. And we put these in there too. And now we're gonna do the same thing with the onion. All right, now that I got the onion cut, look, you see the way I cut mine, right? So I get these rings, So we just go ahead and just move them, break them open like that, that's all. Depends on how big your onion is, how much you want to use. For me, I like to use the majority of my onion. You guys know I love to have, the onion taste, having them southern flavors. All right, so you guys see it like this. Take a little, I use extra virgin olive oil. If you're new to my channel, this is Branch and Vines infused olive oil. I fill this one with a rosemary infused olive oil, right? So we'll move this over here. We'll put this here. And now it's time to go ahead and season, our quarters. Okay, so you remember we had this, right? This is what we made. I tell you, I took the time to give you guys the right blend, right? So now we're just getting ready to coat this like this. And I like to coat it liberally. We made enough to actually do 6 quarters. You might even have a little bit more. I'm gonna take this and give my veggies a little bit of seasoning, right? Even though it's gonna fall down off of it, melt down, we're gonna get some chicken fat, we're gonna get all of that down there, but this right here is just giving it a head start. All right, so look, I flipped them over and got ambitious and went ahead and started going ahead and putting some seasoning on here. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell that it's shiny. On the bottom side, I don't put no olive oil on there, right? But on the top side, I do. It helps to keep the seasoning on there. I don't mind the bottom, everything falling off. You know why? Because it's gonna be on my veggies. And then here, I just come right over the top, just like this. And we put that seasoning on there. Now, you guys can save the rest. You can double this recipe, you know, for your seasoning, you know what I mean, if you like it. And then you can just put it in one of them airtight, you know, jars and just save it. It'll last you for a minute, you know what I mean? So you guys can like season everything, right? So we getting them in here, you know? And then if you got any like spray olive oil or something like that, or avocado oil, you know how they come in the little cans, you can spray it on top. All right, so now we're gonna take these and we're gonna try to get these giant, look, and they big too. We're gonna try to get these giant, you know, quarters. We're gonna play Tetris and get them in here just like you see, right? So we get them like this. Then we try to get this one in over here like this. Now remember, we got that bed of veggies down there. Then I'm gonna take a little bit of this, and anywhere I put my hands at that I picked up a little bit of the seasoning, we're gonna drop it, you know, some more on there. My oven is up to temp. I'm gonna go ahead and cover this, then we're gonna put it in the oven. Completely covered, because what we wanna do is create like we wanna get it completely enclosed, right? So that it'll steam, produce some juice, and we want it to stay super moist, right? So I'm gonna put this in the oven. We're gonna put it in there for 1 hour. I'm not finna look at it or do nothing like that. 1 hour, folks. All right, now we're gonna take this out. I'm gonna leave my oven on, right? Because I wanna show you something. Let me go ahead and get this open. Then we can take a look at it. Now, I use my meat thermometer after an hour, you know, just to take a, you know, find out and temp to see where we at. Now, if you guys haven't gotten yourself one of these is it right here. It even got my signature on it, smoking and grilling with AB. So now we're gonna go in here like this. Ooh, it's super tender. You know what I mean? We'll do that right there. Oh, we at 168. It's selling at about 169. I go into the thickest part of the meat, which is that breast. Ah, yeah. We're gonna stick this back in the oven. And matter of fact, I'm finna raise this up to 400 degrees. Now, the reason I'm doing that is, you know, because we wanna go ahead and get just a little bit of, you know, more heat on the top and kind of like just tighten up and crisp up that skin. Now, this is only gonna take for about 15, 20 minutes, you know what I mean? It's up to you how you guys wanna do it. I have done this completely without putting it in, you know, without covering it. I like to have it covered, you know, for my first hour. All right, so now we're gonna put this back in there as soon as they come up to temp. Then we're just gonna go about 15, 20 more minutes. Now that we out of the oven, like I said, it'll go about, you can bump it up a little bit, but I like to just take my time with it and like look at it so that it doesn't burn. So I'm gonna lift this up so you guys can catch a little bit of a little sneak peek. You see that right there? Here, let me get the camera and let's bring it in a little closer. So you see that right there? That's how it should be. Look at that color over there. I'm not finna keep talking about it. I already got rice on my plate. I'm looking at them veggies. Hey, to be honest with you, I ate some of them veggies before I even stuck it back in there. We just go ahead and put this right here on top. Look at that was a piece of that onion, folks. Now, what's left behind is like a lot of the fat that, you know, because this is really dark meat, right? So when you got dark meat, you know it's got that flavor in there. Now I'm getting ready to spoon a little bit of that on top and around my rice, and we finna eat, folks. All right, so now we get some of these veggies, a little bit of that flavor. Really looking out for these veggies, folks. I don't know about y'all, but this right here is the highlight to me. Then it's okay to put a little bit of this on that rice. Now you guys do it the way you want to do it. You know what I mean? I like to have my rice to have a lot of that flavor, right? So we just do it like this, right? Then I'm finna cut into this in just 1 second, but first I gotta turn it into a star, right? All right, there's nothing else, you know, left to do than to just get in here and just, ooh-wee, hit a little bone. You see that steam coming out of there right there? Ooh-wee, folks. Cheers, y'all. Hold on. Right off the back, look, soon as you go and cut it and you get it close to your mouth, right? You're gonna go ahead and you can smell the herbs and everything that we put together. That right there is great. One of the things I wish I'd have done on this one, like I always do, but I did not, so I'm gonna give you a pro tip. You wanna pull the skin up and you wanna season underneath. You know what I mean, to get the seasoning on the actual meat, then come back, bring it back over, and then sprinkle it back over the top like we did, right? Other than that, this right here is fire. Let me know down in the comment section below, what would you do? What, you know, seasoning, what would you add to this? Talk to me, folks, because listen, I read them comments, and you know what? If you got something that's fire or intrigues me, I'm gonna try it, and you never know, I'm gonna make a video. Now, if you're new to my channel, let me take this time to say thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and just tell everybody out there. Check this out. There's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. And you know what I'm about to do. I'm about to give me a tall, ice cold glass of water. I'm out. Peace.